population report released on April 5th states that the Tri-Cities is the fastest growing metro area in the nation from 2010 to 2011. The 2011 census estimate shows 264,133 residents, a 4.3 increase over 2010. Our area was one of the nation's fastest growing employment centers as well, with job growth in the nuclear, construction, specialty metals, fabrication, healthcare, and food processing areas. We all know about the excellent quality of life here in the Tri-Cities, and the Chamber is pleased that so many others are finding out about it too. Our cities play a paramount role in this great news we received in April, and we're excited to hear from all of our mayors. Our first presentation will be from Steve Young, Mayor of the City of Kennewick. Mr. Young was appointed to fill a vacant position in December 2008 on the Kennewick City Council. He was elected and took office in 2010 and was appointed mayor. Mr. Young has been reappointed mayor in 2011 and 2012. He previously served on the Planning and Civil Service Commissions and the Kennewick Public Facilities District Board of Directors. His experience and background serve him well in his current assignments on the Coliseum Joint Advisory Committee, Energy Community Alliance, Firemen's Pension Board, Council Interview Committee, Joint City of Kennewick and Kennewick General Hospital and Port of Kennewick Committee, LEOFF Disability Board, TriDEC Executive Board, Tri-Cities Regional Public Facilities District, Tri-Cities Visitor and Convention Bureau, and the City of Kennewick Budget and Administrative Committee. Quite a bit. Steve is presently Vice President of the Mission Support Alliance, located at the Federal Building in Richland, Washington. Please help me welcome Mayor Steve Young.
Yeah, when Anita and I got married, she said, go find something to do. So that's how I ended up here. Well, last year, all of you got to see a video that we did, and we were proud of that video. And this year, we're going to talk a little bit about, no, I'm kidding. We're going to show another video. But I do want to say that 2011, we, for the first time, the four mayors, and by the way, I want to say the great part and the great honor of being a mayor for the city of Kennewick is the partnership we've developed with all four mayors. We've become very close friends. We spend a great deal of time discussing the future of the Tri-Cities and the region. They've taught me a lot. They've ignored me a lot. But 2011 was the year we saw the future. And I can say for the first time that while we're proud to have Hanford as a neighbor, it still continues to be an important part of our community. It's no longer the focus of this community. We're now moving into a new time, a new place. It's an exciting adventure for all of us, for all of you small business owners, for those of you that are members of larger corporations. This is a great time to be a part of the Tri-Cities. We love our partners in Kennewick, and we look forward to the next few years. And what you're going to see today is what we saw in 2011 and what you're going to see in the future. Gary?
Columbia Basin's Rock Station 97 Rock, Tuesday morning.
Looking at sunny skies today, 78.
Plenty of things to do coming up in Kennewick over the weekend. We'll have the full details.
Aerial 62, Aerial 72, VC 61, Engine 63, Engine 61, Engine 64, Engine 141, Engine 72, Medic 62, Kennewick South, EWOC 6, respond, 845 North Columbia Center Boulevard, Ranch and Home.
I'm Mayor Steve Young, and welcome to the city of Kennewick.
Also west Brandon Boulevard and West Oakland Place on a commercial structure fire with a report from the Lawrence County inside the business is smoke visible.
The mission of the Kennewick Fire Department is to place life, safety, and personal property as its highest priority. In 2011 alone, more than 7,800 emergency service calls were placed by the Kennewick Fire Department. We're proud of the fact that the safety and security of our citizens, our businesses, and even our tourists is our highest priority.
Got the phone call, it was about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, come down here, and I come around the corner and saw the smoke just billowing out of the building, and it's like, wow, all of this that we put into this, and here we are, what's going to happen?
The fire department responded. Our initial action was, we knew the fire was pretty much out, we put it all the way out, and then we looked at it and said, what can we do to get the smoke out of that building right away so it doesn't start to saturate the goods that were in that business and destroy the inventory that they had on hand.
Some of the guys looked around and said, hey, you need some help moving this and moving that? I mean, they were phenomenal. It was just unbelievable.
Again, our goal was to prevent further damage and do whatever it took to get that business back up and running. And within about 48 hours, Ranch and Home was back in business.
Just overwhelmed with the support and stuff we had from the community, our customers, the fire department, police departments, everybody was you really know who your friends are when you have a disaster.
They knew the fire was pretty much handled, but they knew there was still work to do to help the Dress family get that business up and running and get that store open. And that's what they did. They did an outstanding job.
Behind me, you see the next phase in creating a transportation loop around the city of Kennewick. This loop will connect Highway 240 in West Kennewick to Highway 395 in the southern gateway of the Tri-Cities. This loop, comprised of Steptoe and Hildebrand, will provide greater transportation opportunities for the citizens and businesses within the Tri-Cities. For the city of Kennewick, investing in infrastructure projects like the Steptoe Street extension is just another way to further drive economic development and job creation in our community. As more businesses choose Kennewick for corporate expansion or relocation, we're confident that our community will have the tools they'll need to succeed and grow. Cascade Natural Gas recently relocated from Seattle to Kennewick to better serve their customers, take advantage of local resources, and enjoy the great weather, schools, and community spirit within the city of Kennewick.
What we were looking for was a good fit for us in our service territory, and it's a good fit to be here with the around 25,000 customers that we have in the Tri-City area as well. In total, we have about 80 employees here in Kennewick. We've been very happy with the location and being in Kennewick and the Tri-Cities altogether. I love the fact that the rivers are here. As a family, we love to boat, and one thing that we've missed since we left Eastern Washington was the availability of the rivers to go boating here.
I think we're going to need a bigger boat. The name Kennewick was chosen for the newest ferry in Washington's fleet. She was dedicated in January of 2012 and now operates between Port Townsend and Coopville. She's over 270 feet in length with a capacity of more than 750 passengers. I'm king of the world! It was once said that preparing for the future means planning for the future. In Kennewick, we're preparing for the future. We're preparing for increased job growth and new business opportunities for Kennewick, the Tri-Cities, and the surrounding region. With only 6% of the property within the city of Kennewick zoned as industrial, we have been looking at expanding our urban growth boundary to the south beyond Highway I-82. We have met with developers, business leaders, we've testified before the House and the Senate, and I'm happy to say that on March 30th, 2012, the governor signed legislation approving Kennewick's expansion for new job creation and new business opportunities. Kennewick is also home to several national and global companies that look to our community for its talented labor pool, good location, and roots in manufacturing and technology.
It's a great place. So we get questioned often about, why are we located out here? A couple of our competitors in the East Coast and some in Europe. This area has a great talent pool. So we have a fairly sophisticated instrument that uses a wide variety of engineering disciplines as well as scientific and mathematical. So you name it, if we need a physicist, chemist, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, electronic technician, and we use all those skills, we can find them here in the Tri-Cities. Questions I've had from people is this a good location to do business from? And the short answer is for us it is. So it's actually a great location. While we're a mid-sized town and not a large city, we actually have great air connections, and it makes it pretty easy to get anywhere in the world.
Here we are in the Southridge area, an area that continues to grow. It's a booming area. Southridge contains mixed-use commercial, education, and residential development, all of which are soaring right now. The Southridge Sports Complex is now open to the public, complete with multi-use sports fields, play equipment, and a 33,000 square foot indoor pavilion. In 2011, the city of Kennewick dedicated the 9/11 Memorial in front of an emotional crowd of over 5,000 people. And we are very grateful to our community leaders, such as Bill Lamson, Paul Parrish, Bob Hammond, Ray Poland, and many of our local businesses and labor unions, including Apollo. The KGH expansion will serve as a catalyst for the growth at Southridge. The new KGH hospital will drive new businesses such as retail, restaurants, and professional businesses. In addition to that, it will serve as a key focal point for the southern gateway of the city of Kennewick. 2011 was a magnificent year, but wait till you see us in 2012. Southridge, KGH, Steptoe, and the UGA. You know, with all the stress sometimes we go through in these positions as mayor and city council, city staff, and all the others, it's always fun to have a little fun with all of this. So It's an exciting time. Keep the faith. Don't always listen to all the negative. It's a great community. We will be successful. And you're beginning to see the change occurring now. As I said earlier, last year we saw the future, and we're in it now. So thank you.
Thank you, Steve. That was really impressive. I'm curious about that beginning fire truck scene. I don't know if that qualifies as distracted driving or what, but that was impressive. Okay. Now we'll hear from Matt Watkins, the mayor of the city of Pasco. Mayor Matt Watkins was elected to the Pasco City Council in 2004 and was elected as mayor in 2010. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in Social Science from Washington State University and currently works as a software engineer for Lockheed Martin Information Technology. His term on the City Council expires on December 31st, 2015. Mayor Watkins' preferred radio stations are NPR and Northwest Public Radio 89.7. His hobbies include snowmobiling, motorcycling, golf, disc golf, and scuba diving. Please help me welcome Mayor Matt Watkins.
I'm suddenly having a profound sense that I should have gave him an updated bio, and that I think I did get an email, but I was probably out on one of my motorcycle rides and didn't follow up with that. So next year I'll get an updated bio. The other thing, great segue, because Steve's little video reminds me there's two possible segues I could do here. One, I've been accumulating in life a list of things I should not own. They include a backhoe, a set of Jaws of Life, and a fire hydrant wrench, and now it includes a fire truck. Or the other response is, I think I want to move back to Kennewick if they let you drive fire trucks around. That's incredible. And as some of you probably know, I actually grew up in Kennewick, so to see Kennewick do such an incredible video, I'm going to follow up with a PowerPoint that I'm going to be manually doing myself, and hopefully adding some color along the way. Steve's point, though, about the Tri-Cities being increasingly aware of its future is absolutely true. I've relished being able to speak with my fellow mayors, other council members of cities, and staffs of the different cities as well. It is increasingly easy to be a Tri-Citian. So, kicking off. Anybody remember that picture from about 1992? Anybody who hasn't been here that long? That is Road 68. You might be able to recognize the little white thing that is one of the water towers. Fast forward, and this is a slightly different angle, but this is something more current. That's the example of why we're one of the fastest growing places in the nation. Pasco certainly has taken advantage of a freeway. There's a larger picture, though, here too, because we also know that City of Pasco population has grown tremendously, and at the same time, I'm going to show all of you these stats about how the crime rate has gone down. Back to that just for a moment. Think about this notion. Half of the people that live in Pasco didn't live here 12 years ago. 12 years ago. So Pasco's doubled in population in about 12 years. Being able to drive that crime rate down, because we also know that Pasco's had a colorful history. And just for your reference, somewhere in there, the state average, we crossed to the state and national average some time ago, and it's one of the safer cities in the state of Washington. At the same time, we've also increased our assessed value, because all those people want to build houses and businesses and all of those sorts of things. So we get a lot of charts that do the ups and downs. And at the same time, we also drive the property tax rate down to the lowest it's been, or very close to it, a little less than $2 per thousand. That is something that's very deliberately been a council goal for many years. Besides that, we also, let's see, thrust forward. And I mentioned half the people in Pasco who haven't lived here since in 12 years. I could also show you some colorful pictures of the different great parts of Pasco. It's a community-oriented city. We love kids and have lots of students in school. I think you all know, we've talked about that. We also have a reconnecting to our waterfront river shore in ways that I don't think we'd imagined 20 years ago. But there's also, that comes from not from me or mayors or council members doing things, but city staff doing a tremendous amount of work filling each one of these little goals that you see every 2 years in our case in Pasco, checking in on the things that we've accomplished, the things that we want to carry over we still need to do, and new things that we need to do in a list. And this becomes an iterative process. Now that I've been on for about 8 years, we've accomplished a tremendous amount because of the diligent work of about 300 staff members in the case of Pasco. One of the highlights I'd like to point out too, maybe some of the people in Tri-Cities visit, is Fiesta Foods as an example. It's been here for a while, but I think it's the greatest grocery store in the Tri-Cities. Love to go because of the cultural availability of meat. Anybody do tacos al pastor or been to a taco truck? If you want to get the makings for home, go to Fiesta Foods. It's phenomenal. And this is a case of actually where Fiesta Foods was interested in doing a store. I don't think they were 100% sure it would work. To talk to city staff, not only did it succeed, it's become the flagship store, and I think they have 4 or 5 in the region and are continuing to grow. That was also the first new supermarket in Pasco, I believe, in 25 years. Here's another example. It's not real sexy, but what you see here is an older part of Pasco. You see some standing water, you see certainly paving, but you don't see curbs and gutter. Recently we added curbs and gutter to a street over in Eastern Pasco in a whole section. That's the kind of stuff that isn't sexy, but it is critically important for a city to keep doing and maintaining its existing infrastructure. So that's something that we do concentrate heavily on Pasco. That's actually the goal list we're working on for the next years. I'm going to highlight a couple of those things along the way. Of course, one of the big things is we've been all the expansion in the Road 68 area. There is a piece there, and people probably see it as a field with an irrigation circle, and just actually let you know that's one of the few places you can actually still shotgun hunt in the city limits of Pasco if you want for pheasant. Only place in Eastern Washington I know of. But that place is overdue for development and is owned by the Department of Natural Resources with the state. Anybody ever dealt with them? They're a little slow. So we're going to be doing a full court press to make it obvious that they want to sell that land and so that we can develop that area so that we don't have to push out into the county because we're going to continue to grow. Another one's going to stay on the list, Lewis Street Overpass. Another one that's not sexy, but that thing, if anybody's gone under it recently, is in need of change. So if anybody's got 15 or 20 million spare dollars they can spare, we'd love to have that so we can finish that project up. Let's see what else we have. There's an opportunity there. These orange lines represent possible one-way couplets in the downtown Pasco area. So instead of just doing an overpass, I think we're going to look seriously about how we might be able to reconfigure and enhance the downtown experience. Because I think a lot of people in this room also visit our farmers market on Saturdays. There's another opportunity. Business forum, we also have done business forums, so I threw that in because this is a chamber meeting. We will try and do the best we can to listen to businesses' needs, so we want to improve communication certainly. But we also heard loud and clear, want to streamline our approval process, make it less costly and more efficient. We're going to work on that. And then we go back to an issue that I wanted to bring up because we adopted impact fees in the city of Pasco, and that's unpopular with certain people. This slide I just wanted to show as a truth and reality. Pasco's reality is that we have about half the assessed value of our peers in Richland for land or for property, and that has a significant impact on our schools. So that is one of the reasons we adopted, a big reason we adopted impact fee, because we know that when you build new schools faced with 1% property tax rate limits, that you can't build all those infrastructure projects. So that's one of those reasons. We also, this year, National Citizen Survey, something that's concerned me was that our code enforcement perception that we could do better on our code enforcement, we can work and improve that. So we came up with this big long goal statement. And you're probably wondering what that translates into. Well, that translated into Operation Quiet Ice Cream. Anybody by chance see Como News, Ken Schramm over in Seattle? Editorial about our ice cream trucks and how we were taking away kids' birthdays. Well, we instituted a process with an angle grinder, and we ended up taking care of that noise problem. Reduced our noise by 30%, increased the amount of good naps people have by 12%, and at the same time, increased the sales of ice cream by 3%. We're hoping to pay off that angle grinder after that with the sales tax receipts. And a note to Ken Schramm, we're still waiting on our Schrammy. We haven't gotten it in the mail yet. He said he was going to mail it. That's a joke, of course. Actually, that's a case of where I talked with our police chief and also the group of concerned citizens who weren't able to sleep. They said that the volume's turned down, and as far as they can tell, the volume of ice cream sales are still up. So I think that's a case of where we need to make sure that we're good neighbors with everybody, and but at the same time have a little fun, as Steve said. Back to serious again, River Shore. This is a slide I started thinking about last night and I wanted to put back in because we have an incredible opportunity. Steve talks about seeing the future. We've been working, of course, City of Pasco. Anybody who's been down in the Port of Pasco area knows about the Osprey Point development. If you haven't, drive down Oregon Street, you'll be stunned by this wonderful building Port of Pasco has built. And we also have a Pasco boat basin. Anybody know that? Anybody? We have a boat basin, a marina in Pasco. We're going to work on making that better. We've asked for proposals from businesses to do a comprehensive plan. And then also that area just to the east of the Cable Bridge. Imagine connecting that with Sacagawea Park and adding to the riverfront like Kennewick and Port of Kennewick have done with Kennewick side or with the point in Richland. We are a river of the city, and we should stay connected to it, reconnect to it. In fact, there's a picture of Osprey Point. That's maybe what we could do with our marina. And of course, this all comes together under a truly Tri-Cities plan. So I call it the River Shore Master Plan version 2. Version 1, of course, build all our wonderful trails that we have in the city and a variety of things. And we now have the next decade to work on the next phase of that. Another slide. These again all parts of that master goal. That is a water graph that shows that Pasco's been under the curve. That blue stuff is where we needed extra water, and we're coming to a head. So believe it or not, Pasco worked pretty well with Department of Ecology, another slow-moving agency, and fixed a couple wrongs, and I think basically got right with the state process for water. Combine that with the Quad City water rights, which is exactly that, all 4 cities share in that. And I think we're poised to have great development opportunities and be able to grow in the future. Another thing that Pasco's involved with, I'm wearing my Pasco hat, Pasco proposed putting an aquatics facility in Pasco as a Tri-City regional project. Say that again, a Tri-City regional project that could be located in Pasco. Pasco's offered to backstop any funding that might go overrun on that, and Wood Road 68 is the question for a $35 million aquatics facility that has been posed to the Tri-Cities Regional Public Facilities District, and is Pasco ready to be host for that project? Or, and of course, that's one of the 4 projects being considered. So that's, again, wear my Pasco hat. I happen to be on the PFD, so that'll be a question we Tri-Cities wrestle with. But being a Tri-Citian, like I said, is easier and easier these days, and it's an incredible place to live. Again, there's the goals list. We also have a little fun. Something that I've been engaged with the mayors is taking pictures of mayors at different council chambers. We've got John over at the City of Pasco. Donna, well, we've got her at her place. She's going to be catching up quickly. We've got myself in City of Richland, and we've got also Steve there. And anybody who's curious, we still have friendly competition. There's the score. I've gotten a picture on all 4 mayor seats so far. Steve's at close second place with 3. Mr. Fox, we're going to catch up, and Ms. Noski as well. And at this point, I guess I'm going to have to go to somewhere like City of Tucson or something and start getting pictures there. So anyway, 4 cities, 3 rivers, 2 counties, 1 voice. It's great to be in the Tri-Cities. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor Watkins. That was an excellent presentation. I like that last slide. That was ideal. Next up is Donna Noski, Mayor of the City of West Richland. Donna has held over 25 years of county and municipal government leadership experience. As mayor, she has initiated programs for increased efficiencies and effectiveness and delivered balanced budgets while maintaining quality city services. She has led a number of firsts since being elected to office in 2010. She most notably has led to strategic visioning and planning with city council members that lays the foundation for a strong, self-reliant future for the city. Donna previously served as the Director of Administrative Services for the Benton County Commissioners, served 5 years on the West Richland Council member, and served as interim city administrator for West Richland. Donna is a graduate of Leadership Tri-Cities Class 1. Please help me welcome Mayor Donna Noski.
Class 1 makes you feel really kind of old, and last on the list of the fearsome 4 and getting around to the city halls makes me kind of a loser too. Well, it's great to be here. On behalf of the West Richland City Council, I'm pleased to be here today and to reintroduce you to the city of West Richland and share with you our gateways to the future. We are a community of approximately 12,000 residents. Our geographic area covers 22 square miles with 22 miles of riverfront. Our median family income based on the 2010 census is $76,117, which is the highest in the Quad City region. 95% of our residents over the age of 25 have a high school diploma, and 33% have attained their bachelor's degree. The median value of an owner-occupied home is $178,900, and just 8.3% of our population is 65 or older. We have a quality of life in West Richland that is not unlike what you find in many small communities. These qualities and values focus around a desire for good parks, good schools, low traffic, and low crime. Residents don't mind driving across town to stop for some necessities, but they like being able to buy groceries and to dine at home. What I often hear from our residents is that they like the small town rural atmosphere, they like the schools, they appreciate and enjoy their parks and golf course, and they feel safe in their community. So the challenge we face at City Hall is to develop and implement a strategic direction with sustainable growth and development that fits our community. To assist in developing a strategic direction for the city, Council authorized 3 citizen surveys over the past 2.5 years. We have received valuable feedback that has been incorporated in Council's first 5-year strategic plan. Since the development of the strategic plan, Council and staff have embarked on an extensive number of outreach and public involvement activities to ensure we are moving in a direction that is influenced and supported by our community. City Council identified 7 strategic focus areas that reflect the values of our community and what have been identified as being the gateways to our future. Working together, City Council and staff have focused on maintaining as well as improving city services, while at the same time taking on special projects that supports the city's strategic direction. Now join me as I take you on a tour of the city via our newly designated gateways and districts. The Yakima River Gateway on Van Giesen, the Red Mountain Gateway at the west end of Van Giesen, the Belmont District at Keene and Belmont Boulevard, Kennedy District located at Kennedy and Bombing Range Roads, Paradise District located at Paradise and Bombing Range, and the E District located at Van Giesen and Bombing Range. The Yakima River Gateway was selected as the #1 choice for redevelopment projects by citizens and voters in our surveys and town hall meetings. Our partner, the Port of Kennewick, has joined with us in planning and public involvement to achieve a new look for Van Giesen at its gateways. Modern infrastructure is necessary to keep a city moving forward with residential and commercial growth. During 2011, Washington State Department of Transportation overlaid a portion of Van Giesen, prior to which the city completed water and sewer upgrades, including the installation of fire hydrants and stubbing water and sewer services to vacant lots to promote economic development. Pedestrian safety has long been a concern along Van Giesen. While the Department of Transportation has not allowed a signal at 38th and Van Giesen, the council did receive approval to install lighted crosswalks in 2 key areas. The city is committed to gaining DOT approval for a new traffic signal to further improve safety and commercial access to amenities in order to create a more walkable downtown. Our thanks to the Hanford Area Economic Investment Fund Committee and the Port of Kennewick for supporting our Van Giesen redevelopment efforts. Success was achieved this year in moving forward on the new West Richland Interstate 82 Red Mountain Interchange when the legislature saw fit to support readiness of the Red Mountain Interchange and the Benton City intersection projects with an appropriation of $1 million. The Red Mountain Interchange is now a Washington State Department of Transportation project, and environmental engineering is underway as the project progresses to become shovel-ready. The West Richland Red Mountain Interchange was listed on the governor's top 16 state projects for economic development and tourism expansion. Most recently, Benton County Commissioners, led by Commissioner Bowman, hosted a tour of 16th District legislators. Invited guests also included 8th District legislators, Department of Transportation representatives, ports, cities, winery owners, and other stakeholders and interested representatives from around the region. This impressive list of guests received briefings of the critical importance of Red Mountain Interchange to economic growth of the wine and tourism industries of our region and creating an economic advantage for the city of West Richland. The Belmont District is located at the intersection of Keene Road and Belmont Boulevard, where the city owns 38 acres of prime commercial and industrial development property. Again, thanks to Hanford Area Economic Investment Fund Committee, the city was able to leverage funds to purchase the patents from the Bureau of Land Management. The city is moving ahead in making vital decisions on development at the Belmont District. Belmont is shovel-ready, including natural gas, with the extension this year of high-speed fiber optic capacity and other utilities necessary for development. Speaking of high speed, the international headquarters for SSC North America will be located at Belmont. Construction begins this summer on a 36,000 square foot facility specially designed for the production of the newly created Tuatara. Ruth, I did not get that right as many times as I practiced. The facility will be equipped with the latest technology and features a dedicated research and development area for development of all future SSC products. The city was successful in garnering state funding through CURB and HAFEC loan to leverage this joint public-private partnership. Thanks also to Benton County, Port of Kennewick, and Benton REA for supporting this important project. The Kennedy District saw growth this past year with construction completed on the Goose Ridge apartment complex. This area has prime commercial and retail destination potential as growth continues in the Kennedy District area. I would like to recognize the outstanding members of the West Richland City Council who give their time, talent, and leadership to the citizens of West Richland. They are dedicated to opening the gateways to a vibrant future for our community. And special thanks to our partners. We are a small city with big plans that are only possible because of their ability to see our vision and help to make it a reality. I would also like to recognize the outstanding work of our highly talented and dedicated city staff, and to Ruth Spain, who helped put this presentation slide together for me today. Last but not least, I wish to acknowledge Mayors Fox, Young, and Watkins for their camaraderie and dedication not only to their city, but to the region as a whole. Thank you for the opportunity of reintroducing you to West Richland of today. When you think of West Richland, think the best is in West. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Noski. My family and I make our home in West Richland. It's a great place to live. Thanks for your comments today. And finally, we have John Fox, the mayor of Richland. John was appointed to the Richland City Council in September 2002 to fill a vacancy for an unexpired term and has served on the City Council ever since. As mayor, he has led the formation of a long-range strategic plan to assure orderly planning for future growth and development in harmony with preserving and enhancing Richland's high-valued quality of living. John is a 60-year resident of Richland. He was raised in Portland and San Francisco and graduated from Oregon State University with bachelor's and master's degrees in mechanical engineering. In his career at General Electric Company and Battelle, he first worked in various engineering development positions and later in management in a variety of technical fields ranging from economics and statistics to computer systems and information services. He retired from full-time work at PNNL in 1992. John is a member of the Richland Kiwanis Club and currently serves on the board of the Tri-Cities Development Council. John is married and has 3 children and 2 grandchildren. Please help me welcome Mayor John Fox.
Don't worry about age, Donna, and you mayors down there respect your elder. I think he meant 1902 is when he got on. It could have been. I want to thank the Chamber for this opportunity to address an ever-increasing audience and give you insight into the different personalities, characters, approach of the 4 cities here. In that diversity, there is strength, diversity of ideas and approaches, and we're trying very hard to increase the interchange of those and assemble them into a strategy for our entire metropolitan area to go forward. So we enlist all your interest and support in carrying this area forward. There's a time of great opportunity for us all here, as well as challenge, and I'll mention some of those later. So I'm joined here today by Councilman Phil Lemley. I think we have a video of our council members. Our city manager, Cindy Johnson, and other city staff are here. And administrative assistant Jackie Ayers is over running the slides and trying desperately to keep me on task and away from ad-libbing. But pay no attention to that man behind the green curtain. He just wishes that were his job so they wouldn't roust him out of bed at 3 a.m. to drive that fire truck. I know, they don't make me do that, Steve. But actually, Steve, we looked at what you were doing to develop Southridge under the state local revitalization funding program, and we shamelessly imitated you. I took a look at that and asked, can we do something like that in Richland? And so we are doing that in the North Richland area in our Tri-Cities Research District and our Horn Rapids Industrial District. And already along a street that was built with federal stimulus money a couple of years ago, we've attracted private development of over $35 million in the Innovation Center buildings and facilities, and that group expects to invest another $25 million this year in that. While over in the industrial district, we will be selling bonds under the LRF program this year to put in streets, utilities, broadband, and so on. And in that area, ConAgra plans to build a $35 million, 110-foot tall, highly automated frozen food warehouse and distribution facilities, and they've taken options to expand their holdings there for future expansion of ancillary enterprises. So when the payback on the bonds starts in a later year, we expect to have full participation in the bond payoff from the state LRF program and our partners, the Port of Benton and Benton County. So this looks like a great step forward for us and for all of the Tri-Cities in providing primary employment. Over at WSU, the city has contributed to the new outdoor stage, and our Public Development Authority, newly created, is up and running and planning for the design and construction of the wine science centers on that campus. Richland's equivalent of Road 68 and Southridge development is the City View or Queensgate area, and it has attracted these new businesses and apartment houses and more in the past year, and we expect continued expansion there. The bridge construction over I-182 on Keene Road will complete that road as a 4-lane arterial into West Richland, and it shows our enhanced streetscaping design to make our major arterials more attractive in the future and retrofit existing arterials, which will begin with downtown George Washington Way this summer. We just approved award of the contract for that this year, the last night. Along Keene Road in South Richland, the spray park and the dog park were instant hits last year. And in the Island View Tapteel area, a number of new businesses and apartments are transforming that area gradually, and there's more to come. And at long last, the long-delayed Hanford Reach Interpretive Center will begin to appear in Columbia Park West this year. We are out for bids for construction of the roadways, parking lots, and utilities for that center building, and expect to award the contract for that work at our June 5th council meeting. In southwest Richland, behind Badger Mountain, construction work is underway on the Badger Mountain Village development, and the developers are actively marketing their first subdivision plat. Hotels are springing up all over in Richland. Would you believe up to 6 of them are building or planned? Under construction now are an extended stay Hilton next to the fire station on George Washington Way, and a Marriott extended stay next to I-182 on Columbia Point. An upscale boutique hotel, a lodge at Columbia Point, is being permitted. It's being delayed a little, as reported this morning, by insistence of the Native Americans to do a cultural study on the site there between the Marriott and Anthony's restaurant before they can break ground. In addition to that, Cadillac Medical Center has cleared ground for a future hotel along Swift Boulevard, and developer has proposed 2 resort-type hotels in the Horn Rapids area. So if all of these come to fruition, Chris Watkins and company, you'll have your work cut out to fill them up. In the downtown Richland, we are continuing to grow and expand our activities in Howard Amon Park, the Farmers Market, Live at 5, and summer movies in John Dam Plaza, and we've added amenities in that area with the cooperation and donations of a number of community agencies and individuals, and we greatly appreciate the work that they have put into this. Our public has asked us for improved services and amenities in the city, as illustrated here. Now in our third year of curbside recycling, we have added recycling services for commercial businesses, and we're looking at options for improving the residential system. Our library is expanding ebook services, and our website offers online registration and payment for program and services and streaming videos, so you can watch our council meetings and a number of other special programs that we produce via our website now. On the other hand, the surveys also have shown citizen interest in requesting more emphasis on traffic control and code enforcement. So when you drive through Richland, put down that cell phone and stop texting and watch out for that car behind you. Now turning to some statistics on city operations. At each annual employee breakfast, we give a Blood from a Turnip award to the group or function that's made the most significant cost reduction or efficiency improvement. And last year that was code enforcement. The payoff is that in the past 10 years, our population has grown about 1/3, from 37,000 to 49,000 people. But city employment has remained at virtually the same level. And this chart shows that each employee then serves more people than ever before. Our sales tax revenue has been a council objective for over a decade because it was historically way below the average, the state average, as well as the local average. And we have succeeded beyond expectations steadily. And last year we passed Pasco in total sales tax collection, and this year we've caught up with Kennewick in per capita sales tax collection. And this has made our general fund very stable. Real estate excise taxes are used to fund capital projects such as municipal buildings, parks, and some street projects. It's followed local and national trends. In 2011 in particular, lower home sales were offset by the sale of one large apartment complex in the city. The pace of home construction has kept up fairly well in recent years, and 2010 and 2011 brought a big burst in apartment construction in different areas of Richland. In the first quarter of this year, we've issued 73 single-family home permits, which is the same number as last year. So it remains to be seen if we'll have some drop in home construction as a result of the recent Hanford layoffs. Except for 2009, total construction value has held up well. And this serves to increase property tax in the succeeding years so that we have been able to avoid increasing our property tax rate for 4 out of the past 5 years. I wish we could achieve what Pasco has done over the past decade, because our property tax rate is substantially higher than yours. Now I'll have to turn to some issues that we all face, all cities face, but I'll start with electric rates, because Richland is unique locally in owning and operating its own electric service. And other electric utilities have raised their rates the first of this year after Bonneville Power Administration raised its rates. Richland did not raise rates, and so we are presently operating that utility at a loss, and while we re-examine our rate structure, but we expect we'll have to increase rates no later than the first of next year. We will have to be buying more expensive Tier 2 power from Bonneville Power also in the future, and the dashed line in the graph depicts this. This year also we will reach the 25,000 customer number, which is the magic number which invokes the state law requirement that we buy a certain percentage of our power as more expensive green power. So any way you slice it, electric customers are going to have to pay more for power in the future years, and the prospects are that it will keep going up. We support Benton County PUD's effort, along with others, to change the state law requirement in this regard, but that's an uphill fight. Now, there are other fronts on which we're facing similar problems. All three cities recently increased the monthly ambulance utility fee because all of us were running in the red on that and subsidizing it increasingly from the general fund. Ambulance service is costly because it requires highly trained and skilled staff and special equipment to be on standby for a quick response around the clock. State law authorizes the utility fee to pay for standby time, which in our case runs about 85%, but requires that we charge for actual transport service. So that's why you get a bill, or you or your insurance company, even though you've paid the ambulance fee. And that's difficult to explain to a number of customers. Richland also raised the park impact fee for newly constructed dwellings because we've never been able to collect enough fee from that to actually develop a park in a new neighborhood, and we've had to go to the state for grants for that purpose. And we've also had a small increase in water rates. So the message here from all of these things is that Richland is approaching the point that many other cities in Washington have already reached and have caused layoffs and curtailment of services in various manners in those cities. And at some point in a not so distant future, we will be facing those issues, curtail service or find ways to increase revenue. Still, our citizens have told us clearly in recent surveys that they take pride in the community but want to see its appearance and amenities improved. And employers tell us the same thing, that they want an attractive community to recruit the people that they want to come work here. So for parks, streets, trails, and the like, we've always depended primarily on state and federal grants for new developments. Now, more and more, we're asking our community organizations, groups, and volunteers to join us where they can in these endeavors. Our residents really step forward and put their sweat equity and donations where their priorities lie. And we've seen this on Earth Day and Make a Difference Day and other endeavors from community organizations and individuals and groups. I want to commend all of our residents and encourage them and all of you to help us support this for the benefit of all our communities in the future. And thanks for your attention, and to keep abreast of what's happening in Richland, you can consult any of the resources shown on this slide.